everyone, welcome to the Doom Buggy Diaries. I'm Malia.
And I'm Nicole, and we're your host, your ghost host.
Today, we're going to be ranking EPCOT rides.
Yes, it's going to be a little bit shorter of a video because I have work in 40 minutes. I have to leave for work. 40
Anyways,
minutes.
We're going to go ahead and start off. There's going to be three different categories, queue, theming, and how fun we think it is. And we're both going to rate it. And then at the end, I'll add it up at the end when she's gone and give a summary, I guess. Yeah. So we're going to start off at, the front of the park, and let's actually do Spaceship Earth first, since it's when you walk in.
Yeah.
If you want to start off.
Spaceship Earth, the queue, I'm going to have to give it, a 4. The queue is not anything pleasant. When you get inside, it's pretty cool, but other than that, it's nothing special.
I'm going to give it a 1 because there isn't really a queue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, outside.
Yeah.
What else? I'll start with theming, I guess. The ride itself is themed pretty well, but there's not, there's no theming in the queue or anything, so I'll just give it a 3 to be generous.
Yeah, I would say a 3 as well, just because I agree with that full-heartedly. The ride's themed very well considering what EPCOT is about, in the sense of, hold on, my brain is not working, but you know what I mean, so.
Yeah, you want to go for fun?
Fun, it's a 1. 0. I'm giving it 0 on fun.
The hate over here.
I do not like this ride, not one bit. It is very boring. It is not on my must-do list. I almost fall asleep every single time.
That's the good thing about it.
But I don't want to go to Epcot to sleep. I want to go and, I don't know. I'm also, when it comes to Epcot, I'm more of Explore Worlds Showcase type of gal. I'll ride I'll ride Soarin' and stuff like that, but...
Bad opinions.
Okay, what do you rank fun?
Well, I said fun, not as just, thrilled. How much I enjoy doing it.
I don't enjoy doing it, so...
It is a must-do, in my opinion, because it's my people mover of Epcot. So I'm gonna give it a 7 because I love doing it, and I will be sad if I don't do it. So that's why I rated that. Not because, it's super thrilling, but it's a classic. You're in the ball. Anyways, our next ride will be...
Figment. For Figment queue, I'm gonna give the queue... There isn't really much of a queue, so I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it the same as Spaceship Earth because I can't give one without the other if there's barely any queue. But it's really nice inside. And almost all of the queue is inside.
I was about to say that.
So
all of it is.
Yeah. So maybe I should give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5 because all the queue's inside and it's nice.
I'm also gonna give it a 5 because I actually think the queue is pretty cute for a ride that no one really cares about. The queue is cute. It has the little windows and the doors with the names and stuff. I think that's cool.
It's cute.
But yeah, theming. If we're talking about the entire outside and inside and the ride itself, I'll give it a 6. I'll say it's better than and I'll give it a 5. I'll say it's
I was gonna say.
Because I think that the ride is really cute and it's themed well for what it is, but
yeah,
it could be better. So.
And I'm gonna agree with that. It is very well themed for what it is. The outside of the building's really cute. I like that.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
I like the shape of it. And then the ride itself, it's really cute because it's a figment of your imagination when you're riding it. It's very cute inside. So
it is a cute ride. You want to go first for fun?
Sure. For fun, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 6. I was gonna give it a 5 because it's just an average ride. It's nothing fancy or anything like that. But I always enjoy riding Figment. It's definitely something that it's not a must do, I can live without riding it. But it's also cute, and Figgy would agree.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have him here.
Yeah.
I love little Figment, so but I actually don't love the ride. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 5, because I think it's just average. I don't care for the
Yeah.
ride, but he is very cute. So
Yeah.
this version of him.
Yeah, there's a live action Figment that roams around Flamingo, which is the housing at the DCP or whatever at Disney for the DCP, and it's very scary. It haunts my dreams.
Let's go over to Living with the Land and Soarin', because those are in the same area. I'll start out with the Living with the Land queue. I'm going to give it a 6, because all of it's inside.
Yeah.
However, it has, like, the little quotes from the kids and stuff. I think that's that right. So for how small the queue is, I think it's actually pretty cute, and I think it's themed pretty well for what it is. So
for Living with the Land, I'm going to give it a 3.
She's also a hater of this ride too.
No, I don't hate it. I've never said I hated it. It's just not my favorite. But I'm giving it a 3 because there isn't really much of a queue at all. Like, yeah, that's it.
Go ahead.
Oh, for theming, for what it is, I mean, for Living with the Land, it's themed very well. Like,
it's so cute to me.
My opinion on this ride pushed aside, its theming is very well done. So I'm gonna give it a 7, especially during like holidays and stuff like that. They'll have the special edition for like Christmas and stuff, and the decorations are very cute.
And the hidden Mickeys you can find.
The hidden Mickeys are very cute. So I gave it a 7 just because it's, it's good for what it is.
It is good. I'm gonna give theming a 6 because, I mean, the ride is all like outside sorta. So I think that it's cute, and I like that you can do a tour of it.
Yeah.
That's also
it's the
cool.
cheapest tour I think you can do.
Yeah, it's like $30-something bucks.
We were gonna do it this time, and me and Sam are still thinking about it, but
we'll see about that. For fun, once again, this is like my second people mover of Epcot. I enjoyed this ride so much. I don't know, I love it. I love the calm ones. And you're gonna hate me for it, but I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 4. 'Cause some aspects of it, it's very, I do enjoy, like, the outdoor aspects, but also, it's boring. It's like, there's nothing really about it. So, yeah. Queue for Soarin', I'm gonna give the queue an 8. I absolutely loved the Soarin' queue. It's all indoors, which you enter the same way through, with Living with the Land. It's in the same building. But with Soarin', it's like, there's more to it. It's not just a room.
They have the game.
Yeah, and the games.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'll give the queue a 7. Because there's not much in the queue, but I think it's, like, pretty good for what it is. Indoors, I mean, you can't beat the AC. I won't complain about that, so. Yeah, for theming, I'm gonna also give it a 7. I was trying to think because, like, there's not a whole lot to it, but it feels like you're actually getting on, like, a flight, and the little pre-show is really cool, too. So, yeah, I enjoy it. I'll give it a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 7 as well, for the same reasons. Like, I like the idea that it feels like you're on a paraglider or whatever?
I don't even know.
It feels like you're on a glider. And every single time I'm on this ride, I do get jump scared. And I know that all the jump scares in quotation marks are coming, but it's still like, I don't know. The first time I rode it and that big whale came up, I did in fact scream. It's not a scary ride. Anyways. For fun, I'm gonna give it an 8. Or, no. I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. I'm loving my 7s again. But it's a fun ride, in my opinion. My first time riding it, I got in one of the best rows in the seats and stuff like that. It was like the very top, was it the very top?
No, I mean, the best one is what, B2?
Yeah, it was like, we couldn't see anyone's feet, but also, like, it wasn't all wonky, which they recently fixed, but it was good. So, 7. And it's fun. I like it. I like heights, though, so.
Okay, I was debating. I might have to give a half point on this one, because I feel I can't go 9, because that's, like, really up there. So I'm going to give it an 8.5. I enjoy it every single time. I mean, like, I have so much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's enjoyable.
I enjoy it very much.
I'll go start for the queue for... Actually, no, we'll go back up. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
I was about to start the countries, but we have a couple other rides before you get to World Showcase. So,
Yeah.
We're going to do Mission Space and Test Track together because they're kind of in the same area. And Cosmic.
Yeah.
Mission Space will start with the queue. The queue's okay. I have to give it credit where credit is due. This is not technically the queue, but I'm going to add it in. Once you get off the ride, there's a whole playground.
Yes.
And, like, the little games.
I count that as a queue because it is an exit queue.
I guess fair enough.
But
it's almost like ranking a gift shop.
But
I'll still count it.
I think
I'll give it a 6.
For Mission Space, I do agree. I'm going to give it a 5, though, because...
I said 6. I don't know if I said that. I kind of just typed it.
Let's see. I guess I'm going to give it a 5, because also when you're going through the queue, it's really cool. You can see, like, the mechanics of the ride, like, to an extent. I don't know how to explain it. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just don't know what you mean.
Like...
I've been on it Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so when you're walking through, they'll take you to your pod, and then, like, you can kind of see exactly... I don't know how to explain it.
You can see the pod from the outside.
Yes.
And what you're going to be moving in.
Yeah, and it's really cool. And then also when you get off the ride, like she said, it's like this really cool area. I rode Orange. Orange, which I'll talk about in fun. But for theming, first, I'm gonna give it you know what? I'm gonna give it a 8 because for Mission Space, it is very well themed, and especially I've rode both green and orange. The orange version, it's very cool. It is the only ride, I think, in Disney World that provides barf bags for you. But it's very cool. It makes you feel like you're in space. Yeah, I think that its theming is very well done.
I'm going to give the theming a 7 because they did actually have, like, astronauts and stuff come in, and they built the ride off of that. But now moving on to fun, because I have beef with this ride. Everybody, like, always hates on it, and I rode it for the first time last trip we went on, and I went on green because I kind of get motion sick a little bit. I didn't get motion sick on green, but this is the dumbest ride. I'm gonna give it a 0 because I would be perfectly okay with never stepping on that ride again in my life. Truly. It's the only ride in Disney World, I can say that.
Not to mention there was also...
had a bad time.
There was a girl, because I rode green with them. There was a lady literally screaming in the other pod, and it's the same one. Like, it's still green. I don't know why she was screaming.
I think that she was worried she was going to throw up or pass out, and her kid was also screaming to let her get off the ride. But we were, like, closed in at this point, and I was about to lose my crap, because I also have a fear of, like, throwing up and throw up in general. And, like, even the thought that someone could makes me freak out. So I was freaking out because the little girl was freaking out, that the mom was freaking... I hated it. And it was, like, 30 seconds. It's like, woo!
For fun, the green version is not really fun because it doesn't do anything. Like, yeah, it's cool to watch the screen and stuff like that, but you literally don't do anything. I'm gonna give it a 3 because the orange is fun, yes, but also every single time I ride it, it gives me a headache. I don't get motion sickness at all, but it just gives me a headache. Not to mention also... It just, I don't know. I don't have to write it, but I enjoyed when I did.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Test Track?
Yeah. So, Test Track. Q. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm not going to give it a 10. Because there are better Qs, in my opinion. There's one better Q. I will say that. Q.
There's one?
One better Q.
You're still saying it's Tiana's?
No.
Oh, so you changed
No, I'm talking about an Epcot.
Here? Okay.
Yeah. There's one better queue.
I think there are 3 better queues.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not thinking of... Maybe there's something...
Actually, no, I'd say 2.
Yeah. Frozen has a queue. Anyways, no. Back to Test Track. I'm gonna say that the queue is a 9. It is extremely fun. You get to customize your own car. Walking through, there's cars inside. What?
Nothing. A 9 is just really good. But no, it's your opinion. It doesn't matter what I think.
Well, okay.
Keep it a 9. You think it's a 9. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. Keep vouching for it. Convince us.
I don't know if I'm convincing myself.
Oh.
That's the problem.
We'll try.
Okay. So basically, you get to customize your own car. And who wouldn't like a queue that you could customize your own car? That's pretty cool. And drive it. Drive it. You also get to see cool cars. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna say it's
You can't give it a 7. I was about to say you can't.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because 7 I feel is too low. I enjoy the queue very much, and yeah.
No, the queue's actually really good. I think. I don't think it's a 9, but my only beef with it is it moves so slow.
Yes.
Like I don't know what it is about this queue, but it makes me feel like I'm in purgatory or something.
Also, we haven't ridden this ride in a hot minute because it's been closed. So
I hope it's
take
better.
my opinion with a grain of salt because I have the memory of a goldfish.
I also don't like that a lot of times you gotta wait outside for some of it. So that's annoying. And that whenever you're waiting outside and the cars keep coming by and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's so loud.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that you have to wait outside.
Most of the queue's indoor. Yeah. It's just like that one part that bothers me. I'm going to give it a 7 because I think that like creating your car and driving it is really cool. Yeah. So I'll give it a 7.
Give it a paint job.
Something like that. For theming, I like the old Test Track better. I got to ride that one like once, I think. But I remember the queue of that one. I think. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. I'm not sure. But I'm going to give the theming currently a 6. However, I hope with their new renovations and stuff that it's better than that.
I really liked this ride when I rode it. I rode the current, in quotation marks, Test Track because at the time it is under refurbishment is what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
So they're updating it to a different Test Track, but the one that I rode, I really liked the ride in general. The theming of it was really cool. It was very futuristic. I'm gonna say it was a 7. Oh, well, as well. Well, not as well, but you know.
Oh, well. Go ahead. Okay.
For fun, I really like this ride. It's one of the best rides in Epcot, in my opinion. I'm gonna give it a 9. I wasn't prepared for a semi-truck coming after me, and that scared me in the ride. But I think it's extremely fun if you're a thrill seeker and like thrill rides, things like that. It goes very fast too. Anyways.
I'm gonna give it a 7. Another 7. Yeah. But I just think that it's fun, but like the fun parts of it are really short. Like when you go fast and I don't know. It's fun. A 7 is better than average, so I'll call it that. Eager, huh?
I am very eager.
I'll start with Cosmic Rewind. The queue. It's not like crazy or anything. I think I like that they like hide a lot of the queue so it doesn't feel as bad as it is. And I like the pre-show a lot, and I would include that in the queue. So actually, yeah, I am gonna include the pre-show. So I'm gonna give it an 8 because they play music in there, which is nice, like parts of it. And the pre-show is just one of my favorites, so.
This is one of my favorite queues in the entirety of Epcot, and in general, it is quite... I'm gonna give it a 10, which is very high, but I think it shows, I don't know how to explain it. Gosh, and I forgot what it's called. It shows little, things.
It shows things.
It shows little things.
Are you talking about, like, the cities?
Yes! It shows the cities, but I can't remember what they're called. Like the
I don't know.
Models.
Okay.
That's what it calls. That's what it's called. They have little models and stuff of the city and different ships and things like that. I think it's really cool. And then while you're going through the line and stuff, they play little videos of like interviews and things like that of
Walt.
Yes, as well as Chris Pratt.
Yeah, but I like the Walt thing where he shows his the
Yeah,
early drawings of Epcot.
it's really cool. It's one of my favorite cues, and then not to mention also the pre-show is quite literally my favorite pre-show in my opinion, of course.
It's pretty good.
But and there's 2 pre-shows.
Yeah, which I'm sad there's 2, but they're good.
I love both of them. I recently have beef with the second one, and it's not the ride's fault or anything like that. It's the people. People disgust me, and it's the fact that nobody has patience anymore.
Well, no, I understand like walking over there and waiting by the door.
Yes.
I can't stand when people try to get out.
I literally saw people push the door open.
Like, there's a door for, like, what?
And I literally... It's so dumb.
To save, like, 3 minutes, maybe. You still have to wait.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I get waiting over there. Everyone, like, does. If you know, you know. But, yeah. Anyways. For theming, I'm gonna give it... I'm gonna give it an 8. Just because... You don't really see a lot. I think it's very cool, and it's themed very well. But also, there's not much in the ride, if that makes sense. Like, there's a few planets, and there's the backwards part. We're going back in time, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So,
I'm gonna give theming a 7. It was a dark coaster, so, like, there's not much you can do about that. I love the ride, and so I'm going to give Fun a 10. I mean, that's like...
And I'm going to give Fun a 10 as well.
Can you not give it a 10? I mean, I guess if you don't like coasters, but...
It is... I love the fact that you get random songs, and when I was on my program, I tried to get every song. I got every song that you could get. Yeah, and then we like to guess on which songs we're going to get. And then
what's your favorite?
My favorite song... Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say Tears for Fears. Yeah. Everyone wants to rule the world.
I haven't gotten One Way or Another.
One Way or Another is also very fun.
But I've gotten all the others.
Yeah.
And Everybody Wants to Rule the World will probably always be my favorite.
Yeah.
We got it the first time, and I called it, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna move on to the Seas with Nemo. Do you want to start with the queue?
Yes. For cues, it is, again, one of my favorite cues. It's very cute. It kind of gives the vibes of Little Mermaid. I'm gonna give it a 9. I really like when you go in and it feels like you're underwater. It's very cute. It is, again, one of my favorite cues. So, 9.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because, yeah, for the ride that it is... Like, you walk in and the air conditioning is blasting.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I have to go up to a 9 because I forgot. If we're going to include the exit queue being an aquarium...
Yes.
That's pushing it to a 10, but I'm going to leave it at 9.
The aquarium...
It's awesome.
The aquarium is my favorite part of Epcot, and I'm not exaggerating. I really like... Yeah, I really like it.
It's a great queue, so... For theming, I'm gonna give it a 7 because once again it is more of like a dark ride type thing, and it could be better. So I'm gonna give it a 7 for that.
For theming, I'm gonna bump it down, and I'm gonna give it a 6, just because it is a dark ride, yes, but also I can't. When Little Mermaid's out there, there is more to Little Mermaid. In my opinion, than there is to this ride.
I don't know. I think they're tied to me. They're like almost the same thing.
I guess in some sense, but also, I don't know.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just... can't.
Fair enough.
But it's cute, and you know, you have Bruce, and then you have the jellyfish above you. But the amount of times I've been stuck on this ride is actually insane. Like every single time that I've ridden it, it's stopped. For fun, I'm gonna give it another 6. It's very fun for what it is, but also if you're not including the aquarium, and the ride itself, it's not much.
I'm gonna give fun a 3.
Yeah. I was thinking about going lower, and then I was like, oh well.
Okay. Next up, we're gonna talk about the Grand Fiesta Tour.
This is my Pirates of Epcot. I'm lying, but to an extent.
Yeah.
I really like this ride.
I think it's really cute. The queue there's not much, and it's just like twisting and turnings, but taking into consideration you're in the pyramid, I'll give it a 6 because I guess that is part of the queue and the atmosphere. So,
bringing my feelings aside, I'm gonna bring how I feel about this ride aside. I've always loved this ride, but the queue, I do agree. The only saving part of the queue is the fact that it's in the pyramid, and with that, I'm giving it a 5. Because that is quite literally the only thing saving me from giving it like a 2.
Me too. So,
but for theming, I'm gonna give it. It's one of the more well themed, in my opinion, rides, just because you have the 3 caballeros. Okay, but
sorry, keep going.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I really like this ride. I don't know why I do. Theming, it's in the Mexico Pavilion. Yeah, I think I said that right. Anyways, and so basically, you follow the 3 caballeros. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I think this ride is cute. But theming, no. I'm gonna give it a 2.5. A half for. It literally just feels like they scrapped together something and threw it in.
I mean, yeah, but that's the fun of it.
And you were a hater of Spaceship Earth. Like,
it's
a well thought out storyline. And you think. But this is why opinions are opinions, because once again, the 2.5 is for, you're in a pyramid. That's like it. There's like 3 animatronics in the entire ride. The rest is screens. It's just a screen boat ride.
It's so bad, but
yeah, I'm gonna move on to fun. I'm gonna give it a 3. I like the ride, but like my feelings wouldn't be hurt if I didn't do it. So
mine would.
She'll rank it high, but that's okay, cause
yeah. Putting my feelings aside for fun for everyone else, I love this ride. I love how stupid it is.
It is very stupid, which is why people love it.
Yeah.
So
it is like one of the most stupid rides you can ride at Epcot. I'm gonna give it a 5. And that's me trying to put my feelings aside.
Just trying.
I love this ride. I really do. It's very bad. Anyways, Frozen Ever After. The queue. I love the queue. It is, again, one of my favorite queues. I'm gonna give it a 10. Or, I'm gonna give it a 9. Bumming it down because part of it, you're just going back and forth. There's a lot of switchbacks. In like the middle of it. But I was about to say the Wandering Trader.
Okay.
But anyways, he like comes out, or not comes out, but you can see him through the window.
The Yoo-Hoo guy.
Yeah, the Yoo-Hoo, big summer blowout. And like you can hear Olaf and stuff, and it's really cute. So I'm gonna give it a 9, because it also feels like you're in Norway.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5, because this is one of the rides that I said had a better queue.
You and your halves.
I know, but I can't give whole numbers because they're not on the same level. Anyways, the queue is really cute, and I mean, the only part that you're outside is like one little tiny part if it gets long, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Theming, I'm gonna give it a 7 because the queue is really good, but the ride sometimes in some areas I feel like it's kind of lacking.
See, and To an extent, I would understand that.
Like the screen faces. You could have just... You could
But
have.
yeah, considering what they did with Fantasy Springs, I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
the frozen area in Japan, I think.
Yeah.
But for the time it came out and everything...
It was not that long ago.
The time that it came out, before they did all that, because they just recently did the...
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9 or 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 just because for Frozen, it does lose story a little bit. If you've never seen Frozen, you wouldn't understand what's going on to an extent. But if you've seen Frozen, you know that what the story is about and all of that. I love that you go backwards and you go down a little hill. It's very cute and it never loses its theming, in my opinion. For fun, do you want to say fun or?
You can go ahead.
Okay. For fun, I'm going to give it a 7. It's a cute little boat ride. Yeah. It's very fun. Again, the hills and stuff like that. I like the smell of it in there.
Fair enough. I'm gonna give this one an 8 because out of all of the boat rides, it's probably my second favorite. Like, one that I don't get extremely nervous about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Just last time we rode it, I felt better than some other rides.
Yeah.
It's also more thrilling than, like, Pirates. Pirates is great, and, you know, like, Small World has no thrill. So,
I feel like
it's
faster.
less than Tiana's, but more than the other boat rides.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just more fun in that sense. And last but not least, we have Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Alright, Remy.
No, I got this.
My bad.
It's my turn.
Okay.
For Q, I'm going to give it a 9. This is the one that I think is the best in the park because you're stepping into the world. Like, they make you, and like the tiles on the floor, I think they did a really good job at theming the queue. The ride is a different thing, but the queue itself I think is really good. So
the queue, I'm gonna agree with her. It's a 9. It truly deserves that score. I honestly want it. I'm gonna give it a 9.5 just because it is one of the best. And not to mention, when you walk in, the tiles on the floor, when you're leaving, it goes back to normal. It goes back to normal tiles and stuff like that. And then not to mention also, when you're walking through, you can see Paris and, like, Gusteau's, and there's a building, and it's very cute. So, I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
I just don't like the part that's, the little bit that's outside. So that's why it's not a 10. But
yeah.
You can go ahead.
For theming, I really like the theming. It gives Ratatouille. You're literally in a rat, and me and my friends have had a discussion about what they call the rats. Like, we have the boats or the doom buggies. What do you call the rats? Anyways,
just the rats.
Yeah, but you get to climb into a rat.
Yeah.
And I think with that, it's an 8. I don't think it's as good as EQ, but
yeah.
But it brings everything together, and also again with the Q, there's little sketches of like the animation. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna give. Oh, my mother is calling. I'll call her back.
Womp.
Theming, I'm gonna give a 7 just because the queue has majority of the theming.
Yeah.
So, yeah. For fun though, I like the ride. I like riding it. I wish they didn't have as many screens, so I'm gonna also give it a 7 because I enjoy the ride and it's definitely better than average. So,
I'm gonna give it a 6. I agree with her. There's just too many screens, in my opinion. But also when you're, like, running from and you hide in from I can't remember the head chef. It's not the...
Yeah.
It's not the critic, but it's the head chef or whoever who owns the place. And you hide in the big freezer, and there's that big fish hanging up. I think that part's cool.
I like the stove when it turns on.
Yes, and you can actually feel the heat, or when he's popping the bottle and it shoots water in your face. So yeah.
They needed more of that. Less screens and more, like,
actual stuff.
Physical things.
I feel like what should have came out Like, the order things should have came out. It should have been Remy's, Mickey's and Minnie's, and then Rise. In order of how, like, good they are.
I don't know.
Like, from 3 to 1, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna say goodbye, but then stay tuned after, and I'm gonna make a little clip and tell you our rankings while she's at work. So
I have to get ready because I have to leave here in 4 minutes.
And so yeah, find all our socials in the description, and
we'll see you real soon. Bye.
After further review, we have official rankings, and I'm gonna go down the list of the worst ride in Epcot to the best, which I have beef with this list, but Nicole tanked one of the ride's ratings. The worst rated ride that we ranked was Spaceship Earth, which I think is false, but she put it as a 0 for fun, so that tanked it. So Spaceship Earth had a 3, a score of 3 out of 10, which I disagree with. Next up was Mission Space at a 4.83. I actually got these two mixed up. So actually, Grand Fiesta Tour is before Mission Space. Grand Fiesta Tour is at 4.75, and then after that is Mission Space at 4.83. So they're all pretty much in the same ballpark. Then we have Figment at a 5.16. Pretty fair. Living with the Land at 5.5. Disagree, but I understand. The Seas with Nemo and Friends at a 6.67. Also understandable. And then I actually think I almost agree with the last several ratings. So out of the big, 5 rides in Epcot, we have Test Track coming in 5th place at 7.33. I think this one could be moved around, but that is pretty good still. Soarin' at a 7.42. I agree. Remy's at a 7.75. Frozen Ever After at a 7.91. And obviously the number one ranked ride, Cosmic Rewind, at 8.83. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for staying this long. And let me know if you agree with these rankings. See you real soon. Bye.